Oh yeah, Valak. Oh, is that how you feel? That's how you feel, Valak? I see how it is. Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck happened. I didn't have no internet hiccups or nothing. This shit just went off. I don't want that. But yeah, stream's back. But yo, is Jermaji still here? I was trying to ask him questions. After I, get my salt comments out. We gotta go lab some Yoshi now? No. Well, I mean, I can, but like, I don't know what that gets me. Like, that doesn't really give me much. Cause like, I know a lot of Yoshi shit, but like, I have to be able to apply it. I have to be able to apply it. Oh wait, okay, you're there. There you are. A big problem I have. Let's turn this down. It's a little too joyful for me right now. Big problem I have, fucking, I don't know, getting hit. And you can also see this in past matches too. I'm pretty, okay. There's assumption, aggressive, setup, oriented play style. Now, pause. Before you go further, what the fuck is that? Can you limit that to me, please? What is assumption? I understand what it says, but I need, yeah, alright. I'm with it.
Okay, so assumption, setup, oriented playstyle, like this is a big reason why you clash with Poe right now, because you guys both are the same style. So like assumption playstyle in itself is basically you don't play with a lot of data and none at all. So like if you notice like a lot of situations, like let's take some of the situations. This is like just Tekken related stuff. Let's take Backlash for example, right? I've been sword sweeping you, I've been full crouch foring you, but you just keep doing it. Yeah, you just keep doing it.
Fucking idiot.
and you, well, you're not an idiot. Like don't be so hard on yourself. Like I mean, we all have our problems.
I hate that it hits. I did it 7 times against you and it hit once. I'm mad that it hits. I don't understand why I even do it.
Well, sometimes so even bad moves have their place, right? Like Backlash that has its place, like for hard reads. But if people know how to play around that, or a Yoshi player has full crouch 4 and sword sweep, then you just have to be mindful of that. So it's like, don't bash yourself for it. Like just be like, okay, I didn't need to do that, because giving yourself positive, like negative reinforcement is not going to help you. It's going to put you down a deeper hole. So instead of saying, oh, well, fuck, I'm a dumbass, he does this all the time, like he always fucks that up for me, or you know, when I play him, he always fucks that up. Like just be like, okay, be understanding. That's one of the key things that I've been taught as well, is be understanding with yourself, be critical, maybe somewhat negative, but also be more positive reinforcing. So when you're like, okay, Backlash didn't hit, I know that now. Okay, I did it a second time. Let's not do it next time. Let's try and play solid. Let's play around different things. You know, you think of different ways to put your mind at ease in those situations. Instead of like, oh, I'm an idiot, I knew better to do that. It's just like when I saw, it's just like when I see you fight Ho, right? Instead of like hitting him and like pausing and see what he does, you just go with pressure. Like you do it against me too. Like the 1-2, to Flamingo. I know that's fake, but like I'm late. But like I was definitely checking it a little bit.
Yeah, I saw we traded jabs a few times. which I guess that should have turned into a 1-2 flamingo forward 4-4-4-4 right Viper.
But like the main point that I'm making is that like if you put more data behind your reads, and so like something that I think, and I told this to Sensei Solemn as well, is I said I think that you need to do what I call it's less in my dojo, and it always sounds like I'm teaching somebody, but I'm not. It's called the way of water, and what the way of water is committing less, playing slow Tekken, and observing, and not just like observing and like not paying attention to what they're doing, but you observe and then you take note of it and you realize things. Like if you play slow versus Ho and you just block more, like you'll realize that like he struggles a lot just because of his own play style. It's not even his character. His character's good. He just plays really sporadic and crazy.
Yeah, he does. I remember the last time we played, I think was the ICFC, and I think the time before that I told him I don't think I could beat him anymore, at least not with his Claudio. So he played Marduk intentionally. He won the first match. I won the second match convincingly. That third match that we started, he started off with Marduk fucking, he dashed up and did fucking, tackle stance, down 1+2, the fucking gotcha legs, or whatever. He did that shit like 3 times in a row to start the round. And then the next round, he did something very similar. And I was like, oh fuck, he's about to win off of this like toxic ass playstyle. I was like, this shit is weird. But I ended up bringing it back 2-2, and then he ended up dick jabbing me to win once again.
Yeah, it's one of those things though. Like, imagine this: if you just didn't do anything, you would have died, right? You know. Sometimes the best thing in the game is to just do nothing. Like with Harong, you already have that like mindset where your opponents are gonna think you're gonna be a crackhead aggressive.
Right.
Because that's what your character, that's one of the main traits of him, right?
Right.
So you flip it on them. Like say tomorrow, for example, you flip it on them and you do 1-2 on hit, and you just stand there and look at them and be like, hey man, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna whip? All right, cool. I'll remember that. You might not punish it, or you do punish it, but you're giving your opponent basically a chance to kill themselves.
Right.
So that's like a really big thing that I think is going to help you, is learning how to do those 3 things. And like your goal is not to win. Your goal is to accomplish committing less, observing more, or playing slow.
Yeah.
And it's not to go full speed all the time.
Yes.
Because I can tell you right now, that has a very overall wall that you will hit, and it looks like you've already hit it. No offense.
No. You're right on that. And I don't know. I fluctuate, especially in tournament. Like in tournament, like I find myself like either adapting or, well, I don't know. With you is specifically, I'm so confused about what I need to do. So it's really not a really good, accurate depiction of me. When you see me fight, did you watch the matches that last week against Fee and
yes,
Jake?
That was one of the main reasons. I wasn't talking about past games with me. I'm talking about past games I've seen you play. You play the same against other. You don't. It's not just me. Like it's probably to a more like assumption-based state because you don't know what to do against people, right?
Right.
But like it happens a lot where you will kill yourself, and like people will space around you well, and then they'll whip punch you, or you'll do something that just doesn't need to happen. And like that's why I'm saying like you're skipping step 1 of the process, which is using your first game for data and like not taking it so seriously. Like, okay, I lost it, but what did I gain off it? What did I gain? What did he gain? Because the most when you get to a certain level, like that's what the first game is used as at high level. Is the first game, it should never be taken super serious, like, oh, I got all the momentum, I can do this, because that can flip in an instant, and you've seen that.
Right.
So it's like, that's like a prime example. Like, let's take the example where you were playing said player like they didn't know Harong. You were right? But then
you talking about the Julia match? Yeah, I just watched that yesterday.
Yeah, like if he flipped it on you and he adapted, like that's the type of stuff that can happen with someone is like, and I was pointing it out to you in call, was like, see, he's paying attention. Like you can kind of tell because he's just standing still and sitting in your face.
Right.
He's not doing anything else. So that's always something to be mindful of as well. But yeah, the main takeaway though, like instead of repeating myself and saying other stuff, is that like, yeah, just like you try and like learn to not worry about winning and worry about winning in a different way. Like what I do nowadays is I used to be all about winning. And to be honest with you, that's where a lot of my results like were really inconsistent and not good. But now all I think about is learning and doing my best. I have side moves, like I have side goals, but like on my head as well. But the main takeaway when I leave is like, as long as I play well, and if I learn. If I learn, it's fine.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. Like, I don't beat myself. I really don't think I beat myself up anymore. Like, I might say, oh, I play like trash, or I might say this, but I'm not going on long rants about it, and I'm not getting super angry about it anymore. I'm just like, okay, you learned a couple things though. You learned about this, and you learn more of what he wants to do against you now. So you know what he's already changing his style to fight you. So like, I learned more stuff, and then I bring it back. But it's all about making that learning experience and making it count. Like, as long as you learn from it though, like, did you really lose? You know?
Right.
Because then you're gonna come back stronger. Like, the thing is that I've noticed about you is you're like, I want to win. I don't want to get second. I want to win. And it's like, yeah, I understand that, but you have to learn before you can win, right? It's just like you have to crawl before you can walk. It's the same thing. You have to go to for a second step process, a two-step process, instead of like going like, I just want to win tournaments, or I just want to win this. Because that's probably also clouded a bit of like how you're playing and like how you consistently want to play. Because I can tell in a lot of situations you are going for the kill when you don't have to. Like, look at our sets and look at the life leads and stuff that you threw away when you didn't have to.
Yeah.
For example, you know, like stuff like that when you're either not aware of it, or like it either shows you're not aware, or it shows that like you're going for the kill all the time. When like against players that have like really good rage drives, or really good like fucked up situations, if you get launched like Yoshi at the wall, like, do you actually want to risk all that, or do you just want to backdash and stay away from it?
Right.
Because I get one down forward too, and especially against you, you're probably going to be dead, because I know how to make you guess every time you get wall.
Yeah.
So you have to think of it like that as well. It's kind of like with Marduk, right? And you say you're playing against Hope. It's like, okay, I whipped a backlash. He apparently just stood there and waited for it and did down forward 1. And now he also has rage. He's near the wall, and now he's going to rage drive to put you in a tackle mix-up.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, now after this, he's still he's negative, but now I'm on Oki versus Marduk. That's not a place you want to be, you know? It's just like that. Like, you're putting yourself in so many bad situations that you don't have to, you know? Or maybe it will happen, but it will happen because you thought you had a read, or it was different. Not that you whiffed the backlash and then they did something. Because, like, for example, like, if people were ready for it, or they were spacing around it properly, they could, and they trained themselves, they could launch backlash on whiff every time.
Yes.
That shit has horrible. But people just don't practice, and people always hesitate. Even though there's no reason to. You know, so it's like, the main thing that also I'm trying to tell you is that, like, realize, like, what you should risk and what you shouldn't. Like, do you need to go for, like, all these crazy mix-ups on me if you have the life lead? Do you need to poke me to death? Do I need to actually die? Like, are you that afraid that I can come back? You know? Especially, and the other thing I will definitely tell you about this matchup is, Yoshi, it doesn't have bad get-ins by any means.
Doesn't have bad
but,
what?
like, he doesn't have bad get-ins, like ways to get in, but they are definitely slow. So like, it's not gonna be easy for a Yoshi to get in against you if you just like start checking him with fast stuff like jab and stuff. He's gonna have to use movement and stuff like that, because all of his good get-ins are literally slow as fuck. So then, like, after you've conditioned them or you've discouraged them to use those get-ins, then they have to try and get in with pokes, and then they have to make sure they space it right, because they whip that down forward 1, that's a free down forward 2. As long as it's, you know, within the range. But yeah, you know, so, but yeah, like, let me ask you a question. So, how many times have you felt like you had like a massive lead, right? And like you just started like assuming, or you just started trying to do setups, or something that you thought was gonna work. Like you had knowledge that it would work, or it worked in a past game, so you went for it. But it stuck in your head so deep that you threw your lead until you lost.
It happens every now and then. It really depends on the opponent I'm facing. Because depending on the opponent I'm facing, I understand the possibilities of what can happen and the situations and the Oki situations. Like something like that happened against. I played a Brian earlier today. I was playing Steve. Steve is my character that I don't know. I think I might just continue to play Steve, because he's making me dash guard. He's making me attack and look at people. and he's showing me what I'm bad at, whatever.
Okay.
Like he's showing me I do too much get up kicks. He's showing me that I swing too much after I stand up. Like Steve is just showing me all kinds of shit about my gameplay. But anyway, I was playing a Brian, and I don't know, I got a little too goofy because I had a life lead. I'm starting to understand how to mix people up with Steve. And I played the Brian, and I got him in a rage, and he was solid and able to do taunt shit, and I knew that. And I hadn't tech rolled the whole set, and he taunt back forward. He ended up getting I think a counter hit Northern Cross, took me to the wall, and I tech rolled. Like, I was like, he won't expect a tech roll. He taunt back forward, the jet upper, and fucking I died. And I was like, damn, I had 100% health. He had like 10%. And like I made like 3 mistakes, and I was like, ooh, that was stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't have to. I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I didn't have to run up and do what I did.
It's also the thing. Yeah, it's also the thing as well. Is it's like if you got an 80% life lead, what are you gonna tech for? What is Brian gonna do to get 80% life on OP? Like,
what?
You know, like soccer kick can flip over, but if you side roll it, it's inconsistent.
Right.
Hatchet kick doesn't hit grounded, but it hits side. Like, you don't have the options you have like in that situation. Like, they don't favor that.
Right.
But the other thing I'll to tell you is that like people are instinctively, they make reads off instincts or something that's in their head from situations. So like, for example, like you just ate a counter hit launcher, and what's the one thing that a lot of people and a lot of good Brians are going to look for? You wanting to get back into the fight and get back into fighting. So they're going to expect the technical.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, he might have not known, but like he was probably doing it. Because the other thing as well is, what is the risk of him doing taunt cancel? You know? What's the risk of him prepping the taunt? Like, he can't get counter hit, he can block out of it, you know?
Right. So, yeah, it's just, I get what you mean. There are too many times when I have the lead and I don't just chill. And sometimes it's because I don't want to deal with the opponent's offense or the character. Sometimes it's the character's offense.
Okay.
Like, some characters, their offense is obviously more deadly than others.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's that, and then sometimes I think maybe it's just an impatience thing. Like, I just like,
yeah,
all right,
exactly. Right.
Like, all right, I got the lead. And I'm like, all right, 3, 4. Oh, you don't want to come in? Fuck it, I'm coming in. Down 3-4. You know, like, fuck it. Like,
yeah.
Like,
you know.
That's an impatience thing, which also I think that Steve is going to. He's gonna force me to get better with. I had a really good set against Akunimitsu earlier, right before you hit me up. I was playing Horong 2, and I was like, yes, this is perfect. And Steve is making me realize that I can just dash in my opponent's face and play in that rage. I do this with Horong against certain characters, but I don't stay consistent with it. With Steve, he's kind of making me realize I can just be in my opponent's face and play small Tekken. Like,
yeah,
I don't have to let you get to range 2 to 3. Like, I can just dash and stand there and block what you swing in with me at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so let me ask you another question, right? So, think of it this way, right? Like, you don't want to deal with certain players' offense. I get it, right? It's frustrating, it's annoying, you got to deal with throws. Like, it's like dealing with King and neutral. Who the fuck wants to deal with giant swing breaks?
Yeah.
And getting giant swing, break, throw, do giant swing again. Who wants to deal with it, right? Trust me, I get it. But the thing you have to also think and understand is that, like, this is all part of growing and improving, right? It's like, if you don't deal with Marduk offense, for example, and you decide that, oh, I'm not going to deal with that shit, fuck that shit, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to just smother him to death, and you try and force your opponent to kill him, one thing I'll tell you that's really real, and it comes off really critical, but that's the type of person I am, and Roy will tell you that, is that it comes off as really predictable. Like, it's really good. Right. Because when they start saying, oh, you just want to force situations all day? All right, bro, you're just going to eat down forward 1 from Marduk, or you're just going to eat this safe counter hit launcher. And when you come in, boom, you know?
Yeah.
You know, or something like that.
Yeah, I think.
So, like, I just have to really point that out.
Right. I think Ben Chang. I think there are certain players with how they beat me, kind of like really sticks out. And there was like maybe I think it was the month of December. I played Ben Chang probably about 30 times, because we were both around the same rank or whatever. And he was just kind of random selecting characters. He beat me. I think it was Leroy, Fakaram, Julia, Heihachi. I don't know who the fuck he mains, but he just beat me everybody, and it was like frustrating me, but it was all like defense. And my buddy Enoch, my big Wobro Enoch does the same thing. Like where I lose from swinging, I lose more health swinging than I do from them attacking me. If you get what I mean. Like they just sidestep, or they know when to duck. They know when to duck and launch. They know when to stay ducking and launch or punish or whatever. And some of the ways that people beat me, I don't know. I think it's just really, I guess, a veteran player thing and a comfort thing. Because a lot of people they don't beat me like that. And there's only a few people that can do that.
Yeah, for sure. So like. That's the thing though. Like I said, going back to what I was saying about the Marduk thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like that when you let's say you don't expose yourself to those situations with like Terrell, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or or the giant swings or whatever. It's like now that becomes like a weakness or something that you have to like play with and deal with, right? So now it's like, okay, when I'm in this situation, if a good opponent realizes I don't want to play neutral at all, they're going to put me in situations where I'm forced to. And then you have to deal with now just a glaring big ass hole in the game, right? So that's why I really encourage you put yourself in the situations. Because you want to know one of the main reasons I wanted to play you? It was because like I was like, you know what? I actually really want to practice my neutral. That was one of the main things. Because my neutral isn't very good. And I can admit that. But like, Harong kind of puts you in the situation consistently. Unless you're just going to whiff moves, and then regardless, you're going to have to play neutral eventually, because you're going to freeze up now. You're getting whiff punish. Like, it puts me in a situation where I have to play neutral a lot, and I'm negative a lot. And I have to either guess, or I have to make a read, or something like that, right? So it's like, it's really good for me. So like, you saw how like I would just stay at the wall and block for like 20 seconds? Yeah, that was me like chilling. Like, I was just like, okay, let me see what he's doing. But let me also just like pick and choose my moments well, instead of just swinging into something.
Right.
I was doing that with Flash too. I was like, okay, this looks like a moment where I can do this, for example. But yeah, like that's the big thing about it though. We put ourselves in situations that we're either weak in or we don't want to be in, so we can make those more comfortable and make them strengths, right? Like, and that's what I definitely, and I will say it again, and I'd already said it, but I would encourage to do that. Is like, okay, I don't want to fuck with this guy's neutral. I don't know what he does in neutral. But you know what? Let's learn. Let's learn what he does. Even if I don't know the matchup, who cares? Now I can get comfortable getting hit by this guy and get comfortable taking his. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I don't know. It's for me. I guess at this point, it's really just a character thing. Like, because if I'm playing against like Kazuya or Law or Brian or somebody that I know, like, pretty much the majority of the capabilities of the character, like I can be comfortable where I'm like, all right, well, Brian's or Claudio has low health. I know what the fuck he's about to do back with those fucking rage drives, so I'm just not gonna press a button now. Or whatever. I'm really good at just waiting that shit out. Or whatever. I rarely get hit by that rage drive in general. But
the other thing I was also going to tell you is like, when you're afraid to deal with someone's offense, right? Like, think about the moves that you have as keep out that are not high recovery on whiff or bad on whiff, and think of stuff like that. Like, you have that little mid check that you kept doing, the down forward 1+2.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have stuff like that that's not really bad on whiff, and like, you have moves, and you have to think about like Marduk or King. Like, do they have an easy time getting in, or do they have a hard time getting in?
Right.
What are they using? You know, stuff like that. Because then like it puts another reassurance that like you do not have to worry about like this situation, right? Now you're like, okay, well maybe I don't have to be as scared, or I don't have to be afraid of his offense so much, because I have a 90% life pain. I can take some pain.
Right.
You know, you take the pain, you feel the pain. It's okay. It's okay to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to tell myself that for a little bit now. It's okay to get hit. I get hit, I learn data. I learn more things about what they want to do when they have moments, when they have pressure, when they have moments, you know, etc., etc. And like, obviously, like, I mean, I still have my problems and stuff too, but I'm always like, even off days, on days, like I'm always looking at it, and more I feel like I'm looking on off days or whatever else, and I'm just looking like, okay, I know what I could have done here, but you know, today maybe just not the day. But guess what? I'm still learning more about what I need to do. I'm like, okay, I could have blocked here. What was the reason for me to hit a button here? I didn't need to. There was no reason. He was showing me what he wanted. He was pacing. He was showing me this. Why did I hit a button? And I just like constantly put stuff like this in my head. so like I can be improved like the next day. And sometimes it's really crazy with the results.
Right.
When I like finally like just wake up one day and I'm just like, man, dude, I'm like taking punishment so much, but I'm okay with it, for example, or whatever, you know? It's just the way it is. And sometimes you can tell like with a player when like they're playing a really high pace, right? And they have a life lead, but because you see them whiffing a lot, for example, you don't have to feel like you have to go in, even if they have a massive life lead. Because now you're just like, okay, I just gotta get close to this guy, and then I get a back 3, and then I'm back in, you know? Or something like that. It's another way to reassure yourself to like continuously play and don't force yourself in. The other thing that Steve will teach you as well is that like when you are down big life leads, it'll teach you how to be more tame, because you don't have very much to do that.
Yeah.
Got back 1 and counter hits. But if you don't get counter hits, you gotta work for sure. So like that's another thing that it will definitely teach you when you're like down a lot, and you're playing against maybe like Bakaram, someone who has good range and can keep you out really well.
Yeah.
Like you'll realize that you're using movement more, you're using better moves, or you're whiffing things to try and get them to come in a bit so you can make it easier on yourself. You'll start realizing that you're just doing different things.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
I definitely agree with that, because fucking Steve's comeback game is pretty booty.
Yeah, you got rage drive, back 1 counter hits. That's it.
Yeah, rage drive, back 1 counter hits, and his lows don't really build momentum well, like a lot of other characters.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of those things. But yeah, for sure. So like, and you'll see like if you look back at your games, like instead of like giving yourself like a reason why this matchup didn't go well, like, oh, I didn't know the matchup very well, but maybe look back on it and see like how much stuff in this set was actually really big Tekken related, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, could I have just blocked here? Like, was there a situation that I was put in, or did I just not have to hit a button there?
Right.
Like, did I have to freeze there? Did I have to do this? You look at it more like once you start understanding more and you're able to break down, like you have a basic understanding of a matchup, for example, right?
Right.
You're able to realize that you have, you're able to realize that like you can just block more and play Tekken more so than the matchup. It's harder than it's easier said than done for sure.
Yeah.
But like it's one of those things though that like you can tell like when we're playing or when you're playing someone that you're not super familiar with, you can tell that there's a lot of Tekken things. Like they're doing habits, they're doing things that you can take advantage of.
Right.
With movement or something, you know. There's different ways to go about it and look at it. But yeah, so like the end thought that I will say, because I need to get off this call and eat and a couple other things, is that like just like try and like develop a learning mentality. Work on learning about the game more than just winning, because I think that that's really clouding your judgment and it's holding you back a lot. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
and hopefully that makes sense, or you could maybe make some sort of relation to that, because I definitely think it's holding you back.
Yeah, I would agree. That's what JDCR told me. At it was a Schaumburg event that he went to, and me and him got to play the set. And I asked him, I was like, you scared you're gonna lose? And he was like, I just want to play well. And he's like, I just want to play well. Winning doesn't matter. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Man.
And then he got up and went to go play his match and beat the shit out of whoever the fuck it was. I think.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, you see how what I said and he said are kind of like really similar.
Yeah.
I just want to play well.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like fucking 2 years ago. Shit.
Yeah, like so, like, why Noel do you have to play why do you have to win? Why do you have to be the best? Just play your game.
I think the issue with that is that's what I started the journey for. So.
But I guess that now puts you on another journey, right? Like, do you enjoy learning?
Yeah.
Does learning make you happy enough to lose and learn that way and win that way? That's the next question you gotta answer.
On matches online. Yeah.
I just mean in general. Yeah. Like, figure out in general, like, if that's what, like, you have offline to some extent, right?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe when you play offline casuals, or if you even do tournaments down there, you know, just be like, hey, let's just learn today. Let's do our best and let's learn. Let's not even think about it, because the thing is when you're so like up with winning and that's all you want to do, you you work hard, but not smart. For example,
right?
Like and you give yourself more like excuses and stuff to fall back on, because once you start winning a lot or something happens or you get to a certain point and you stop winning as much, you start like falling back on, oh, I didn't know this matchup, or I didn't you know, I could play better, I can play better, I don't need the lap, or I don't need to do this, you know, I don't need to do this. I'm not saying that you say that stuff, but these are prime examples of where when your head gets up there, you know what I mean?
Right.
You feel like you've made your mark. Yeah, that's what I mean by that. And so like, but like, anyways, when you're winning, like you just want to do whatever you can to win. You're not thinking about what can really happen to you. You're not thinking about what your opponent's doing too much. You're just like, I gotta beat the guy. I don't care if it's JCR. I gotta beat him. I gotta win. You know? And like that's where this whole thing, and when we talked about the wall is, right? The reason why you're at the wall is because you're too focused on it. You know? Like, and that's where you gotta like figure out and be like, okay, well and that's where like the journey comes in with, like I said, the learning. Like can you enjoy learning and losing but still winning in your own way? Can you look at it as a different perspective? Because Tekken, to be quite honest with you, is all about Tekken and perspective. It's all about Tekken. It's all about perspective and mindset. It really is. Like it's like for example, I'd be like, fuck man, that guy got lucky. And then I could be like, hey, did he really? And then, you know, I start thinking about different things. And, you know, I start expanding. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay, I was -7. I hit a button when I shouldn't have.
Right.
And, you know, and then, like, I go back to it. And I'm just like, oh, shit, okay, I learned something, you know? Or you learn something from your losses when you watch it. And you're like, holy shit, I didn't know that's plus. I didn't know this. And, you know, like, to me, that shit makes me feel good.
Right.
Personally. When I learn more things, like, nowadays, it just makes me feel good when I'm learning. When I'm like, man, dude, he's not doing that setup thing. He's doing something new. I learned how to deal with that setup. You know, that feels really good. But it does vary from person to person. I guess it just really depends on, like, do you want to stay at this wall, or do you want to try and learn and try and do something different? You know?
Right. Yeah, and I think I don't know. I think I bounce. Like I've adapted that mentality, but I keep dipping my toe into it and going back. To what
you know why I think it probably is? It's because you like see yourself do really well, or you see yourself get really close to being like really good people, right?
Yeah.
You know, or being someone like Fee, right? Because Fee's really good.
No, I don't.
Know? Like
I don't know. My introduction to Fee, and this is no insult to Fee or anything. My introduction to Fee was like online rank, and and I've always just kind of had an easy time fighting him. It's not difficult for me. I don't really have to think much. I don't even really know that much shit about Noctis, to be honest. And I just understand what I need to do to beat him. So it's never been a largely difficult thing for me to beat Fee. I guess, I don't know, everybody's telling me like how good he is, and I understand that for the purpose of online and stuff. He's been doing his thing. It's just that I don't know. I guess I'm just more concerned with like a total victory than just a victory over someone that's notable. It's just that I know that I can beat everyone, and like my soul, my heart of hearts. Like I know that I can do that. So for me, it's not beating a single person is not really what I want. I want to take the whole culmination, which is the actual tournament.
Okay, well, I will tell you in some circumstances that's unrealistic. I will also tell you that you have to put yourself in a situation. Again, I'm very critical and I'm a very honest person. I'm sorry if I offend you.
No,
but like, you have to understand if like, are you overconfident or are you going into more of arrogance because of like thinking where you're at and thinking of what you can accomplish. It's okay to admit that you're getting to that point. Trust me, I used to think I was better than 70-80% of this base of this game. I used to think anytime I lost, like I shouldn't lose to anyone.
Yeah.
You know, like, and like I don't mind sharing that. Like honestly, like I used to think, oh, it's gonna hurt my rep, but you know, I'm not that person anymore. I've changed for the better when it comes to Tekken and in general. And so like I think that like it's just a better way is to learn more so, because I realized when I was focused so much on winning and like I couldn't beat like these big mountains or something, I couldn't beat this good player. You know, I was so focused on like, oh my god, I lost you again. You got so lucky in 70 situations. Instead of just being like, why did he get lucky, or did he really get lucky? You know,
right.
Or did what happened? What caused me to lose to this guy? Like, I wasn't thinking like that. I was thinking of like, okay, I'm gonna beat him. I'm just gonna come back stronger. And one of my friends would be like, like, Jeremiah gets stronger a little bit every time that he comes back. And now I think I'm getting to the point where I'm getting stronger a lot at a bit now instead of a small. Sorry, but this isn't about me. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's about you, damn it.
I didn't mean to say that. But regardless of the fact, I'm just trying to use myself more as an example.
As an example of a past yourself relating to the current me.
Relating to you. So relating to you.
Yeah, because and I get it. I have. It sounds like we do have some similar aspects. Me and your past self. It's just that I don't know. I don't think that I am like really good at the game, by any means, because unfortunately the father of Horongs here in America doesn't think that he's great at the game. So if he doesn't think that he's great at the game, what does that make me? So
sometimes you can't think of perspective, for example, like you can't think of like what other people think of themselves, right? Because some people just like literally don't. Like if you ask Commanda, if you ask Joe, he'll be like, bro, I am not good. I am. Yeah, good.
That right there, like, that mentality that a lot of higher level players have, it makes me like humble. It keeps me like humble or whatever. Like, cause I've heard Speak say that shit, and I know he's retired and shit. But like I've heard him say that, and I'm like, if he thinks that way about himself, and like I understand the distance between me and him because I played him, I was like, okay, well, I understand I'm not necessarily that great at the game. It's just I don't know. I have a not necessarily an ability. I understand how to win. I feel like better than the majority of people when it comes to, I guess, Tekken or whatever. And that is what I'm using. That is where my faith and my confidence come from. Not necessarily my abilities or my character or
I understand. I wasn't trying to imply all this stuff. I'm just giving examples and stuff like that. But the other thing you have to ask yourself, and this goes back a lot of what we're talking about with the wall, right? Is like, do you want to be able to win or do well at only specific levels or every level?
Yeah. You know? Yeah, every level for sure.
And yeah, for sure. And that's what, like, and I mean, like, to me, like, doing well, and I think also in JCR's mind, it's doing well enough, like, in his own perspective, is enough for him. Oh, I got money, I won a tournament, cool. You know, JCR probably been like, that's awesome, man, but you know what, like, I'm still learning, and, you know, like, I feel like from what I heard, at least, I mean, it's kind of a bit of an assumption, but from what it sounds like, he's someone who is very humble, and like he keeps himself at a level playing field. And like, for example, when you're talking about like how like Speed says you know, he's trash or whatever, right? It's the thing I forget is that's a way to keep yourself humble. Is never thinking that you got to be godlike. You like, there's also another way to look at it. Like, you can say I'm a good player, but when people are like, I'm amazing, and, you know, they're writing you about it and saying you're so good, like, you know, like, for example, or saying you're the best in NA or whatever, Harong or whatever, like, you just are like, yeah, man, I'm okay. And, like, people, like, will reinforce you, and they'll be like, bro, you're so good. You beat this person. And you're just like, man, give it a rest, okay? I appreciate it, but I'm going to stay in my lane and say I'm good at the game, but I am not the best.
Right.
You know? And I think that's a good way to be. It's okay to say you're good at the game, but when you're going like, bro, yeah, I'm so godlike. I beat this guy. I did this. That's when the ego sets in. Right, that's when the win set comes back. That's when everything basically starts hitting the fan. Because then you go from a learning mentality to literally just worrying about winning again. It's like, man, I'm so godlike. Why can't I beat Koreans? Why can't I do this? You know, I can definitely do it now. I know I can. You know?
Right.
Like, I can say I can beat anyone in this game right now if I put my mind to it. But I don't let it cloud my judgment enough to where I'm like, oh yeah, I should just win then. I shouldn't worry about winning. Because there's still just so much to learn in the game.
Right.
And there's just so much I have to learn at these higher level of play as well. So, you know, it's just one of those things. But, yeah, man. So, like, if you, like, and I know I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again because it's super important. If you learn how to master what I call lesson 1 in the dojo, well, in my dojo rather, it's called the way of the water. If you learn how to like use your water in that way for step 1, like you're gonna be a much better player.
Man,
because you're gonna learn.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So like you're gonna learn that you don't have to commit so much. You'll learn like how often people will kill themselves and have literally autopilot thoughts in their head. Like if that make and they will, you know, they'll just kill themselves. Like, you know, like for example, like you do a down forward 1, right? Or you do like a common setup for back 1 to evade them. They might be thinking you're gonna just back 1 them. So they're just backdashing away. Like they're already showing you that they want to play defensive. Or they're already showing you something and all you did is hit them once. For example, like sometimes, even at high level play depends though, does depend. But like, but at a good level play, high level play, and even top level, data. Like they do one jab, and then you check them once, you check them twice, and you see what they do. Like, and you're just like, oh my god, he whiffed a move. Like he was gonna whiff a move if I just stepped there, because I know that's linear.
Right.
And then now you're making data. Now you've checked twice. Some players, you can tell when you've had enough experience that like they're going to like immediately think and go based off the fact that they hit you. They're gonna do it again. But once you get to that higher, once you start getting to the upper players, you'll realize that people are always thinking on the fly, even if they hit you with something. Like they're just like, oh, okay, just because I hit you, I'm not gonna do it again because there's no point for me. Or, you know, or they're thinking at a much different pace. Like they're thinking at a slower pace instead of like, or they're thinking just more smart about it, for example. So it's like, and you just do that with like all your games. So like Oki, one thing that I can tell you from like our sets, like whenever you broke Rainbow Drop, you always did peace. Always. 2 out of 3 times that I broke.
Yeah, I thought that you would go fly away or do a stance or something. I don't know why. I do that after grab breaks in general. I don't know why. It's got like a high success rate. I think that's probably most likely why.
That's most likely why. Yeah. And you know what high success rate leads to, right?
Assumption-based super omega gameplay.
No. High success rate leads to bad habits.
Ah.
Think of your high success rate of setups, for example, as a gauge. Every time it hits, every time you hit it on someone, every time you hit it on a really good player, the gauge goes high. Keeps going up, 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 up. And as soon as you hit it on a really good player, like then your mind starts thinking, this works at this level? And then then it goes really high. And then it just keeps on going, depending on if you keep hitting it and if you keep doing it. That's why it's so important when you're hitting stuff, like that you're mindful of. You're like, okay, that hit him, but like most people do this. They'll say, if it's not broke, why fix it? You know, why would I stop doing it? And that, I mean, that's true. Don't get me wrong. That is a good thing. But the other thing that people forget is that you have to be mindful. If you're not mindful, like the way to look at it as how many, like when you're playing somebody and like it does work, and then you're playing someone when it doesn't. So this example would be against me, right? Like it worked against all these people. If you see yourself doing it against someone who is checking you for it, and you don't stop doing it, you most likely create a bad habit. Because you're doing it on someone that's just not consistently working on it. So or maybe you're having an off day, so you give it another day or two, and then you're feeling really fresh, and you do the same thing. Then you definitely have it confirmed as a bad habit. Because some days it's off, and you know you're just like, bleh, you don't know what you're doing. Like you'll know what you're supposed to do. You said, oh, I'll change this usually, but like I didn't do that, for example. And then like the next day you'll find out that you stopped doing that. Like I have some days where I tell people I have fake habits. You're seeing fake retarded Jumanji habits. These don't exist. Some people like look at me crazy, or they'll send me crazy stuff, and I'm just like, man, it's we play again, different player, I promise. But like, regardless of that fact, though, like the point still stands, right? When you have that's how your habits are developed. Like I'm starting to understand this more, and like how much success rate goes into building habits. And I was never thinking like this before. But like, it's a really good thing to always keep in mind and be aware of. And so that's like one reason. But once you start using the way of water and what we talked about, you start going away from it. Because now when you break a throw, you don't immediately hit a button, you just look at it. Or you back that. You do something that complements building good habits. And the gauge is going higher for that. But see, now the problem is you have to catch up to how big your fucking gauge is for bad habits. This is part of the reason, at least, I mean, there obviously anyone who's taking me serious, like, there is no gauge. It's just metaphor. But like, regardless of the fact, that's what it seems like. If you really make sense out of it and you think about it, it seems like a gauge. It seems like a bar just keeps going up and up. You're just like, damn, I did it again for the 7th time. I know it's been hitting, but I need to stop doing it. And like, no matter how many times you hammer it to your head, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Don't stop doing it. And it's just like the gauge, the good gauge of good habits is just too low. You know? It's a good way to put it. And so like, you think of it that way. But like I said, when the commit less comes in, the observing comes in, you start noticing that, like I said, you'll start noticing what people want to do on hit, on block. Because when you commit less, you're doing it at every part of your gameplay that you can. Obviously, don't overthink it and expand yourself spread yourself too thin. But like, just start, in general, the committing less and the observe more on top of the playing slow is supposed to put data behind your decisions. It's supposed to stop making you assumption-based player. There is another way to still be like water and adapt well, and it's called you make data out of your assumptions. The problem with this is that this is not as effective, because once people realize that's how you play, it's going to be a really hard thing to like break or change, because eventually you're going to have to upgrade from assumptions out of data to just data in general from observing and paying attention. Eventually you have to make that jump, because you're going to get to a level where you're going to assume, and then they're either going to change or you're going to do something else, and it's probably either going to rattle you or confuse you or something else, and you're just going to be at a cross path with what they're doing, because you're just, So like, personally, that's like what I do right now. I'm trying to slowly get to the way of water and do all that type of stuff more consistently in tournament, and that's why I try and tell myself, and you'll hear me on stream, I'll be like, guys, even though this is hitting, I should stop doing it, because I need to build better habits. I need to play slower. Even though working fast and like I can maul this guy, I shouldn't maul him. And like, some people, like I said, they'll think you're crazy. They're like, bro, you don't want to win? Well, I mean, it's not really about winning. It's about learning.
Right.
If I want to learn, that's overall going to be better than just winning. I win a tournament off a high success rate, off of just mashing, or hitting buttons all the time. Like, I'm gonna do that shit the next tournament. It's pretty set in stone that's gonna happen, right? Because in a sense, like, for certain players and in general, like, it's gonna be different when you are in tournament and you're in casuals. Like, you might be able to play slow and use the way of the water in casuals, but when you get to tournament, your brain might go to full speed and you might just turn into the Flash and go 1,000 miles an hour. Because that's how you learned how to win. That's how you learned how to play tournaments. That's how you're gonna continue to play.
Right. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Think about it, right?
True.
Like, look, if you could look back at your play and see how often you won tournaments, or you did really well in tournaments, or beat good players, like, think about how fast you were playing, and then think about how often it carried over, how often it worked, and then think about the times it didn't work. It was still good. Get ready for the next battle.
Yeah, you got a point.
I've experienced like a lot of the stuff that you're going through, and I still go through as well. Because I mean, we're all human. We're creatures that happen. It's gonna happen. But we just have to always constantly be working on ourselves in the game, in life, whatever it be, man. Like, that's just the way it is. That's like, you have to also understand, you're not perfect. Like, whenever you make a mistake, there's no reason to overly criticize yourself. It's okay to be critical. One thing I'm learning, it's okay to be critical. But being overcritical is self-harming and it's self-destructive behavior. There's no reason for it. It's not healthy either. And one of the main reasons why you play Tekken is fun, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the main reasons you play games.
It's fun. It's fun. Got a lot of shit to learn. Got a lot of stuff to learn. Huang is cool as fuck. There's a lot of other cool characters. I like a lot of the fighting styles. It's I don't know. The skill, the execution part is pretty fun for me as well. It's a little annoying at times, but it's it's still pretty fun. Grinding,
one thing
grinding it is fun.
So I'm gonna share you something with I'm gonna share you something that Azur told me one time. He told me that he plays tournaments and like all this other type of stuff, right? He's a tournament player. But you know why he really plays the game, and when he's playing, even in tournaments, he plays for fun.
Mm-hmm.
He does play for fun, and and sometimes and even when you start getting into that thing where you're having fun, but you're still focused, you're still trying to make this good decision, you're still trying to play well, you're not worried about it, you're not too worried about winning or losing, but you're still trying to play your best. You still have obviously side objectives, but they don't hold as much weight. You feel more free. You're not thinking as hard, and sometimes in certain players, and maybe just in their playstyle in general, they've adopted a mentality where them having fun is them placing well, or them doing well in any tournament, offline, online, whatever the case, because they're just having fun.
Yeah.
One of my teachers, Sunken, referenced this to me and said that, you know why you're playing so well, Jerry? And I said, no. And he says it's because you're having fun. And I thought about it for a minute. I was like, I am having fun. I am having fun. I'm enjoying myself. And that's one of the main things that I always try and keep with me as well when I play, even if it's in a tournament, is I try and be am I having fun? Because that's what I had to really ask myself after I came back from WoW. It's do I have fun playing the game? And I had to think about it more and more, and I was just it's not as fun as it could be. Now I have fun all the time.
Yeah, that definitely does seem like the better mentality to have. I feel like I have it, but not enough. I don't know. I don't know. I fluctuate between both of them. I know I do, because sometimes I can just have fun really no matter what, whether I'm getting my ass whooped or I'm winning or what. And then sometimes it's the other way around, where I don't know. It's kind of just only more fun to be whooping people's ass. So I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing that now that's got to balance out is that you've got to realize that you have to figure out a way to distract your mind, empty your mind. You gotta figure out how to empty it, distract it, something of that sort. When you make a mistake, for example. And again, I'm referencing myself a lot, but it's because I have this problem. Right. I still do, but it's not as bad anymore. But I have problems where I'm oh my god, Jemai, you're such an idiot. Why'd you flash there? You knew he was looking for it. And then there's other times where I'm okay, you knew he was looking for it. It's okay. Stop. Don't be an asshole to yourself. Don't belittle yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it to get that angry. And it's not helpful. Or any of that kind of stuff. It's just not. And I can tell you how many games I lost and I got so heated over my critical mistakes that I was like that. I have a friend that's like that. Brayden Invains, he's like that. He makes critical mistakes, he's really pissed at himself.
Yeah.
I'm damn, look at that. And you're like that as well. We have a lot of similarities in the bowl. And it's. And I'm like I said, it's okay to be critical of yourself. It's okay, but be understanding. Don't be self-harmful to yourself. Don't make yourself want to hate the game. Don't make yourself want to not enjoy the game. You lose. Just realize that you fucked up. Just play solid. Or the other things I reference is say maybe you're having dinner with your girlfriend, or you're having dinner with your family. It's gonna be a great time. You guys always have fun. You think of ways to distract your mind, but keep you focused and keep you eyes on the moon and not.
Right.
That probably doesn't make too much sense.
No. I get what you're saying. It makes sense to me.
And anyone who doesn't know, that means that the moon is your goals and the finger are your distractions. So, yeah. That's why you will always hear me say, like, if you ever come by my stream, I'll be like, all right, my eyes on the moon. And some people don't know why I say that. Other people do, because they know. But that stays with me and in my head pretty consistent. I'm always like, eyes on the moon. And it helps me. Sometimes it makes me play crazy. Not crazy to play as well, but like it's kind of also like gameplay altering sometimes for me. All I gotta say is that. Like, I'm gonna say that like when I go up at Atlanta in June, I'm gonna be like, eyes on the moon. And people are trying to what the fuck is he talking about? Eyes on the moon, there's no moon here. And you know, it's Atlanta, so they're gonna freak out. They're just gonna be like, what moon are you talking about, bro? You getting fucked up. You know?
Are you talking about
don't worry about
going to the Anakin Invitational thing?
No, the Secret Garden.
Oh.
June 26th. But yeah, like, you know, like, I could imagine that now, just me saying that. Eyes on the moon. And just people just freak out. They're just like, bro, what is he talking about? Don't worry about it, bro. I've got my eyes on the moon. Anyways, you get the point. And yeah, so that like that's the thing. You just figure out ways to distract your mind. And it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Sometimes it could take weeks, it could take months. But you have to realize that the more you do something, and I will always encourage this and encourage other forms of weighing to like detail yourself, you know, calm down, is like take all the time you need in between characters. So like use the 30 seconds. Use like half that on play. Use that. Like, what are they gonna tell you? Hey, bro, hit the X button. I'll hit it in a second. Okay, I'm busy doing something. Thinking.
No, yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I've done.
What are you
I've
doing?
done that before in tournament.
You know? Yeah. Yeah, like you just set a character select, and people are like, man, it's gonna pick a fucking character. You know? Some people probably get annoyed and just fucking match the character thing over and over, trying to get you to hit something. Yeah. Dude, what are you thinking about? Let's play. I want to win. And you're just like, nah, bro, I gotta think. And then you reset. Sometimes you just reset like that. Because I know we talked about this before. I just now remembered this. But I have to say this again because it's just so important. Is that like when you take all the time in the world that you were offered, you know, like it is crazy the difference it can make. Like think about. So one thing that I would like for you to see if you could start doing is when you play tomorrow, like take all the time you need when you feel tilted, or even if you don't, and just see like the difference it can make. Because I'm telling you, 40 seconds, 1 minute is a reset. You come out and the commentator's like, holy shit, bro. Noah's playing out of his mind. I don't know what the fuck happened in 40 seconds, but everything's changed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could control what tilts me and what doesn't, or how I get there and how I don't. I have no clue. With all of this online, I don't know. I feel like I got less tilted offline, but online is my home because we don't have that much offline tech in here. So
yeah, so it's trial and error, right? So like this is the thing to think about, is that like. And the other thing also to think about is that, like, whatever you do online, I don't care what Noah says, and I'm sure even the top level players of NA will tell you this, that like that shit will transfer back offline, and you will see it, and sometimes it peers its face out, and it's not a good face, and it's not a good look.
Oh yeah, you mean like the habits and the shit you develop. The reason why Anakin doesn't want to play anything online.
No, not like habits. It's more of like sometimes it's also mentality things. It's also things you do, like maybe you miss a peacekeeper punish or something, and that pissed you off online. So now it pisses you off offline. You see what I mean?
No, yeah, I get you.
So like those are the types of things that can transfer. But like that's why it's so important as well, to like just always do things like this. Take your time. Like continue doing that. Like taking time is a good habit to build. Like I did ICFC, and I thought maybe if I took more time, I could have reset. I could have changed the outcome, because I've seen myself take time and see the difference it makes. And it just felt like I was so eager to play today, and I didn't need to. But regardless of that fact, though, like so, that's one of the things that I'll say to keep a calm mind and to calm your mind consistent. The other thing that I will tell you is that I'm going to give you a breathing exercise, okay? It's something I learned in therapy, because I went to therapy for my anger. I don't care, I'll share that, that's fine. And so like the breathing exercise isn't like deep breaths. It's so you're gonna take a deep breath in, you're gonna hold it for a second or two, and then you're gonna exhale the air as slowly as possible. It's called mindful breathing. And to me, at least, the slow part of the breathing part, where you're exhaling the air, that's where your nerves melt. That's where anything that's building up can just melt away. It takes practice, and I've had like one other person I've told this technique that had scary results within like a day or within an hour or two, which is pretty rare. But regardless of the fact that if you build it as a skill and you continue doing it, you'll start seeing yourself just not tilting, not get super pissed at yourself in the game because you're doing it. And the key is to do one before game and after, win or loss. Or if you have breaks in between, like rage arts, super wall carry combos like Ace or something, take the breath and you just go in, give it a second or two, hold it, then exhale, and then go from there. Sometimes you do it multiple times, you know? But it works really, really well once you have made it a skill, or like it just clicks in your brain and you start remembering to do it and stuff like that. Like I've told my students, I'm like, breathe, and like he gets smart ass with me. And he's like, yeah, breathe, I got it, Jermaine. I'm like, smart ass, breathe. You know what I'm telling you. Stop doing that, you know? And because sometimes people forget, and like I forget too, you know? And like I have that problem too sometimes, but you know, I need to breathe. I really need to do it.
Yeah, I think the weird thing about that is that I've never really done any meditating or any type of breathing exercises, but I kind of did that offline whenever I would be like over emotional offline in tournament. Like rather it be a win that like was like a close match, or even like if it was a loss, like I would do something very similar to that. But it was once again, I would dip my toe in my water with it. It was like once every 3 tournaments or something like that, or I would do something like that. But it's not a bad idea. I do know the meditative stuff and breathing exercises. I do know that they do work. So likely, definitely not a bad idea. I'm gonna have to steal that shit.
Yeah, I don't mind taking it. I mean, it wasn't mine in the first place. But regardless of the fact, like, you get the point though. Like, and like, it helps, right? So like, there you go. There's your answer. Maybe that's your answer to staying calm. Maybe that's your answer to not, getting clipped and putting on Twitch clips, you know, stuff like that.
I mean, but like, if that's what the people want, Jumanji, I gotta supply the people with what they want, you know. Nah, I'm good.
All right.
I'm really good at looking at myself, and accepting myself. So like, that's why I posted. It's like you gotta remember to laugh at yourself, because the clip is funny as shit, bro. I was serious as fuck in the moment, but like, it's just hilarious. It was hilarious.
It was funny.
So
yeah, but you know, like that's one of the other things. And so to close out this talk, man, this sounds like a lesson. I'm so sorry, I have to point this out because
it's all good. I'm with it.
Relates so much of my teachings, like I'm teaching other people, but they're not my students. It's so odd when you think about it. Anyways, back on topic. So to end out, I guess let's just call it a lesson. Like I'm gonna end with a quote, and then I'm gonna call it a night.
Okay.
And probably but I want you to, I'm gonna link you this video, and I'm gonna link this video to everyone. This really helps, and I want you to think about this really deeply, because it's a really short video, but it's super important. So think about this quote. Okay, this is from Never Back Said Down 2. The quote is from Michael J. White.
Oh, I like that guy.
Remember I told you, an angry mind is a narrow mind. Whenever you're angry, you're only thinking about what could you do to somebody. You're not thinking about what can happen to you. And this is the guy who has the problem with anger. Isn't anger good for fighting? No, it's about emotional content, not anger. Does that anger make you work harder? No, it just makes you feel like you're working harder. You're actually burning out your mind. And when your mind goes, your body follows. It's better to make your opponent angry so you can control the fight. The real test for you is to calm your mind. Michael J. White.
I like that.
That is something I have told students. I have told so many people, and I think it's just such a fucking quote. It's so good. It's so good. Like I'm gonna link this as well. I think I can. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't think I have any link blocks or nothing like that.
But what the hell? I thought I copied it. Wait a second. Oh, I was just being dumb. Okay, so this video here, chat. If you watch this, you have a problem with anger or something like that. Like that really helps. Like that really will help. It's literally 1:38. It takes almost no time at all, but there's just so much knowledge to acquire from that one video. And you can relate this to a lot of different things too. Like it's the other thing I'll relate this to really quick is I'll relate this to assumption-based play, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you are playing assumptions or you're playing aggressive and you're not thinking very much about your decisions, what do you think you're doing when you're playing super aggressive and you're not paying attention? You're burning out your mind. What do you think you're doing when you're angry? You're burning out your mind.
Right.
And then that's why after like a set, like you do a first to 3 or you do a first to 6 in grand finals, and you're just like going aggressive and playing like that, you just feel like you have to take a break because the mind like shattering process you just went through is crazy. And like when you're thinking more, I mean, you're still burning out your mind, but it's less as a time. It's just like like I said, it's just like when you're fighting angry, you know?
Yeah, very true.
You don't let your opponent you don't let your opponent dish out. You know, your opponent dishes out and you just let him do it and you let him tire himself out by burning his mind.
Yeah. Got some wise insight. Some wise insight. I think I'm gonna be a Yoshi main here pretty soon. If this is if this is how you get the insight.
I mean, it's kind of funny. People give me a lot of shit for Yoshi. They're like, bro, like you don't know what you're talking about. You're a Yoshi player. I'm like, bro, I actually am pretty smart at this game. I know a lot about this game. Not even so flexible. I do know a lot, but it really annoys me. Like I was like, bro, this character is bad in this game, and this guy was like, bro, you're a Yoshi player. You know better. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? I know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't like when people do that shit to me. I'm just like, bro, yes, I play Yoshi. Yes, I play a character that looks like you have to be insane to play. But, like, I do know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
like,
shoot.
It's really annoying when people do that to me. I'm just like, alright, whatever, dude. You know? Like, okay, sure, yeah, I'm a Yoshi player. I fucking snort glue, whatever the fuck, you want to say. Like, because sometimes it just really feels like it's coming off serious.
Yeah.
I think you don't necessarily have to switch to Steve. Like, just use Steve in general, but use Steve to learn in tournament. Like, make him actually a secondary solid main.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I just like right now. I think because my favorite characters are Horong, Steve, Brian, in that order. And I started playing Steve, and in the first tournament I went to, I was like, yo, I'm gonna go to the tournament. And there were nobody was playing Horong, but there were 4 Steve players, and this was like a 40-man random ass local tournament. They didn't have nobody but newbies because Tekken 7 was new. Then I was like, damn, no love for Horong? Fuck that. Like, I'm gonna play Horong. Horong's my actual favorite, and I was like, I'll just try and Steve. And I think Steve's difficulty at the beginning was also another thing that made me like comfortable with turning away from Steve. And now that I'm revisiting Steve 3 years later, and now that I know a lot about Tekken and punishes and all of that shit, Steve is like basically showing me the weakest parts of my game because I don't have to think about offense because he doesn't really have offense like that.
Yeah, so one thing that I will definitely tell you is the harder characters and the characters that you have to think a lot for, like, for example, like if you play Yoshi, like after you get rid of flash and spin and you stay mindful of using those options as tools, not crutches, like you can actually develop very strong fundamentals. I actually believe that when you have a really tough character that has to work hard, has to get in, and you have to like go from a solid aspect, you have to use movement a lot more, you have to work harder, right? I really think that you do develop good fundamentals if you put yourself on the right path. Every character has something abusable, so it's like you have to put yourself in a mindful state. Like, okay, Flash is abusable, this is this, or back one is abusable with Steve, this is abusable. but it doesn't mean I have to abuse it to where I'm gonna show them 20 years later I'm gonna back one, you know, where I don't have to do that. You know, I can use this as a tool, not something that I just throw out because it works.
Oh shoot, yeah. I hear you say that was I had that problem with back one in the beginning, and then like I was like I gotta quit using this move, whatever. Back one is like there's a lot of moves that there's a lot of moves that are like get out of jail free cards that end up becoming players' crutches to get out of situations, and that's why you see them a lot. And like I had that same issue with back one.
That's why you see in high level play where someone just gets blown up for one thing because their success rate is so high. It's one of their worst habits, even if it's a good move.
Right.
And top players, or you know, just good players in general, whatever it may be, they can expose stuff like that.
Right. I definitely agree. But all right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I'm about to get ready to go to sleep. I gotta go to work.
All right, sounds good, man. I hope that you learned a lot from this lesson.
Yeah, I definitely did. I may have to highlight this and make this like a nice little 20-minute video about mentality. But
yeah, I mean, we talked about a lot of different things.
Yeah,
but I mean, you do have the editing part, right? So
right.
It's like, oh, okay, but yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the talks, appreciate the words. Thanks for the set as well.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for the set as well. I just reviewed it while me and you were talking. But
if you have any questions or you want me to say anything or help you with anything or show you a situation, do not feel free to ask. Actually, this weekend, as far as I know, I'm supposed to be. I'm not gonna say because it's something I'm pretty sure that he doesn't want me to tell him. Right. But I'm supposed to be with someone. I'm supposed to be going over Yoshi.
Oh wow! Okay. Cool. So, yeah, that'll be dope. I'll probably have to tune in. I'll probably have to tune in that myself. See if I can find some random more Yoshi gems so I could whoop this guy named Jumanji's ass. But
I always recommend. I always do, because you know when I make you guys stronger, you guys make each other stronger.
Right.
You know, I adopted that mentality a bit from JFJ, or I did.
Yeah,
because I learned that like I don't need to hide my secrets. I can let people know.
Right. That's how I do. That's how I do with Horong, because I don't want people out here losing to scrub Horongs. Whatever. I want, when you lose to a Horong, I want it to be a Horong that I know and that I respect.
Like he beat me up for doing my usual bullshit. And what I told him, I said, bro, I actually appreciate you doing this. And who said? I'm sorry, I just had to laugh at that, because could you imagine you saying this to someone? Hey man, thanks for beating my ass. Yeah. Thanks for really putting me in my place. Like, could you imagine people's faces or what people would say? Bro, what do you mean? Like, you're okay losing like that? Yeah, man, it tells me I can't get away with my same shit. You know, like, help me, I gotta evolve, I gotta do better. And you know, he was like, no problem, and he said, thanks for showing the flaws of Yoshi. I was like, yeah, no problem, anytime. It goes for any time, with you as well. Have a good one.
All right, man. See you later, man. Thanks.
No problem. Peace.
Man, that was really insightful. Really insightful. Really insightful. And he's right. Stings a little bit, but I think I don't know, through this time, because my initial goal was to be able to beat the best in this game. My goal was never necessarily to, like, I guess have fun. Like, the fun has always just been a part of it, but that wasn't the goal. The goal was to beat the best, and I think within that goal, I've attached myself sometimes, not all the time, to my fun with the game being with winning. Not all the time, because I can play and lose and obviously not have too bad of a time. But I think maybe in tournament, or specifically in tournament, I don't think that I should always get top 8 or top 16, but I want to perform to my potential, and I believe my potential is top 8 or top 16. And I think that mentality, that thought, that pride, I think that is is harmful. I think that's harmful. I think it's harmful. So, I don't know. Yeah. We had some good topics. We did hit some good topics. Now, it is about 2:30 in the fucking morning. So, you know, I gotta end the stream. But you know what it's time for. Eccentric, you got an instrumental for me? I know you got an instrumental for me. A fire instrumental, you know. Maybe some whoa, I don't need this on my bars playlist. Get out of here, Bia. You got a fire instrumental for me, Eccentric, that you know of, that you could give me so that I could destroy it, or, you know, just kick some cool, smooth bars? You do not? My person making whack shit this month. Oh shit, whoa, what? I think I just want to do something really chill. Honestly, I don't think I really want to be. My energy is not that of like really hype. My energy is just really calm and chilled out. So I need a beat to reflect that for me to freestyle on. And then, no, this is not. No. It's just different. I don't think that is either. Let me change this. All right. So now, I don't think this will be it either. But I do want to tell you guys now. This is an angry, aggressive beat, bruh. I just gave up all the. Oh wait, this is a chill beat. It's like aggressive chill. Yeah, I think this would be good. I think this would be good. Yeah. Now, disclaimer: I'm not a rapper. No. Don't get it twisted. I ain't trying to sell you no music. That's just facts. I'm not. I don't even write. This is true. I don't write. I just love the freestyle. And at the end of my Tekken streams, this is just really what I do. So if you haven't been here, you're here for a treat. Also, if you want to include yourself with the post-stream freestyle, you can throw some words in the chat. You know, throw some words in the chat and I can incorporate them if you feel like it. If not, that's cool too. I'll just go. So yeah, and I think without further ado, I think this beat is chill enough for me right now. Yeah, I think this beat is chill enough for me right now. So alright, so what we gonna do is I'm gonna restart this beat. This beat is by Epic the Dawn. He's one of my favorite producers right now. That's Epic with a K. Give him a subscribe. You know, if you like some dope hip hop instrumentals, that's kind of my shit. I like a lot of these people, but I don't know none of them. So I always shout them out. You know what it is. Okay. Yo. Oh shoot, look at the Centric getting in there. Yo. Woo. I'm about to get mean and do a fatality. I'm trying to change up my fucking mentality. They think I'm a baby, but that's a babality. I'm feeling like a beast, that's an animality. Check out the brutality as I just spit it. I am having fun, but middle fingers to the critics. I go in and I am staying oh so cool, but I'm feeling like I'm foreign, but I don't speak Spanish. You should really panic when you are around me. I'm feeling kind of manic. I'm really feeling like I am the medic, or maybe white mage, I heal. They don't understand what my mind I steal. These bars, wait, these bars are made of steel. I'm feeling like a man that is just made of steel. Clark Kent, if you get the Man of Steel. I rewind this just so I could show you that I stay still. In the midst of a tornado, I always stay mindful. They don't understand because they always stay spiteful. I just do this. I just see straight through you like you are Sprite. I go in off the top, higher than any kite. They don't understand me without smoking anything. I ain't smoked nothing, not really in my life, and I do this, and that's cool because this is the strife. I mean, this is a strife. I mean, this is that rife. I mean, this is the IF. I mean, this is the FE. Better yet, the E. I had to back it all the way down to the E. Now I back you down, and then I hit you with a jab step. Oop, oop, oop. I'm going left. No, I'm going right. That's a layup. Right tonight. Playoff time. I am in the game. You know it's Dame time. You don't want to fuck with me. Not when it's Dame time. Hit the shot. Bow. Swish is going in, and I didn't even look at the bitch. I mean, I'm having fun, but I feel like they're bitches. I do this off the top of my brain. I am the switches, the hydraulics. If you get it, Candy Paint. You know, Southside, Houston stuff. You know what I'm saying, or maybe not. I'm just really moving off the top of my mind, but I'm really just on the block, waiting for the block. Don't shoot your shot. Do this is haram. Down 3-4 on a thought all day. Put them in the fucking mix-ups, having fun with this, so they just get mixed up. I am doing this so easily. I'm nice. I do this. You can't touch me. That's a poltergeist. I am ultra hype. They don't know the strife. I am having fun. They don't understand the plight. They just moving with the fright. I do not live my life off fear. Woo. I'm feeling like I am the fucking man of the year. Only thing you see when you come to the stream is blood, sweat, and tears. They don't know a thing about their own life because they don't recognize their own fear. Wow. Now, take a set to think. I do this middle fingers to what you think. If you think bad about me, that is really cool. I'm not ever chasing clout. Gee, I'm having fun with this, but this is like a seesaw because I go up and down and I just do this. I blow up, but that's C4 like it's a round Simtex. Throw it. Wait, I said around. That means I just pull out the gun and shoot around you, because I wouldn't want to hit you. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of weird. I think I want one more and then I'm done for real, for real. I needed to be more chill. That beat made me bounce around a lot. It felt really awkward. No, I need something a lot more chill. Like just like nothing. Does it have to be 4 minutes too? Jesus. I'm kind of feeling like I want something short. There's nothing chill here. This is chill, I think. You're dead? Don't be dead. Scooby? Scooby? Who's this from? This is from Gueto. Some Gueto beats. Yeah, I'm gonna go to this. And then I'm done, for real. Okay. No, don't leave yet. Nah, don't leave yet. Nah, don't leave yet. Yeah, it's a Scooby beat. Oh, it's a Scooby beat. Yo. On the front lines, that's where I like my choices. I spit fire or I spit poison. You are a guy and a girl, that would be poison. I'm having fun with this, but I just bring that poison. The boys quick, they don't understand, I'm feeling spooky. Do this how I want to, I just shout out to the cuties. Wait, I don't, I'm trying to spin that QT with all of you because you know, the only thing that really matters is memories, aka quality time. QT, I do this off the top. I am really shining. Not really my choice, but I do this. You just gotta understand. As I turn my chair, that's the voice. The only word I like to say when I panic is zoinks. Woo! I'm kind of crazy with the flow and I do it and I know that I stay original. Wait, I'm staying so eccentric. They don't understand that I am just a hero, not a zero. But I hunt mavericks like I'm zero. And they don't understand I'm flyer than any maverick. I'm a Top Gun. You don't want to see me in them skies. I just do this. They don't want to hop in my ride. Strife rides with knots while you riding MPH because I'm that fly. They don't understand the gauge. Woo. That was kind of a hard bar. Woo, knock your head off. You must be Alyssa. I'm having fun with this, but I'm really just not your sister or your brother as I do this. I am just undercover like the brother. That's Eddie Griffin. Go watch it. Best believe me, I don't need no watch, kid. If I want something, I'ma work and go cop it. Middle fingers to those people that are cops, kid. I had to let you know where I stand. Middle fingers to 12. That's just where I just stand. I'm in the state that is surrounded by the 3Ks, and this is really where they fucking live. So I see a lot of shit that you probably don't. But it's really cool because I'm still moving through my life with all of my passions, and I'm having fun with this, with all these bars I'm passing through to you. I do this off the top. I am so cool to me, cool to you. Wait, that means I am just blue. I mean, I do this like I'm 2 in 1. That would be a Reese's, a Twix, or a pair of socks, or a pair of pants, or a parachute. If me and you were jumping out of a plane. Bruh, nah. Oh, shoot. Alright, yeah, that's it. It's late as fuck. This is probably the latest I've ever streamed. Due to that conversation in that set with Jumanji. Which I have no problem with that, because normally I go to sleep. Around around that time. Let me throw this on as an outro song. Yeah. So yeah, thank y'all everybody for stopping by. Thank you, Eccentric. I don't know if you stayed or not, but I appreciate you. Had a good time fighting you. You're a bully. You and your backdash and your spacing. What is this backdash and spacing malarkey? I'm just messing. I had a good time. You're gonna be the reason I beat any Alyssa's in tournament, and so I appreciate you for that. And you know, just for being a dope human being. Also, thank you everybody that followed. I had a decent amount of follows from Facebook today. Thank you, Ned Baker. Thank you, Zeraron Altinez. Thank you, Santhoth Kumar. Thank you, Joseph Kim. Thank you, Polly. Thank you, person's name that I cannot say because it is in Japanese or Korean or Chinese characters. Sorry, I can't read it. I wish I could. Thank you, Ivan Valdez. I appreciate you as well. I wasn't able to talk to you. I was in the middle of a conversation. If you come back, we can have some chit chats. But of course, thank you, Jumanji, once again. I appreciate your insight in the set. Thank you, Quinn Strife Love, for popping by as well. Thank everybody. Shit, y'all know what it is. I'll be back tomorrow. I got the tournament tomorrow, Roman Jelly's tournament. I'll probably end up playing some Resident Evil 7, scaring myself halfway to death. Before that, though.